It is just rock scrabble everywhere.
Fair. I'll give you $100 to jump in this.
That's the sort of stuff you got to contend with. You just have to kissy the wall. Right, where's our track go? And this is the main descent into Knox Gorge, which is just there in front of us. Yep, just stepping into the Class 5 zone.
It's a long way down.
There's a busload of oldies tourists behind you at the moment, so we're getting our distance between us.
They're not coming here, they're just going to the lookout.
Yeah.
No big strides on this stuff.
Boy, oh boy, this is going to be a bitch climbing out of here.
Oh, yeah.
It's scrabbly and steep. The other gorges were steep, but they weren't very long. This one's got scrabbly, steep, and long. It's a trifecta.
Sounds like bats.
There are bats down there in that canyon going off their chops. Hopefully we walk past them.
This is a really cool colored ant. He's green and yellow.
I can understand why they call this a Class 5. I'm sweating and we're going down. It is just rock scrabble everywhere. We're nearly to the base of the gorge. Looks like we got one more steep downhill section.
We gotta go find that colony of bats.
Yeah. That's the sort of stuff you got to contend with. That is no easy feat. Highly recommend hiking boots, yes. Thongs, not a place for thongs in this particular track. A colony of happy flying foxes. I wonder what sort of diseases you catch in that pool. Batshit pool. Smells like a bloody latrine in here. He's nasty. No swimming for this boy. Well, we've left our little bat colony and we're heading down the actual trail, which is the opposite direction to the bats. Look at that pupus. That's a seed eater of some sort.
Emu?
Emu maybe, yeah. This is an easy stroll once you get into the base of the gorge. I'd say they call this a Class 5. Well, I'm going to guess they call this a Class 5 because of the scramble to get in. But who knows? Maybe there's some hecticness in front of us. Cool paperbark tree with the colors reflecting off of the wall. And there's a giant spider. Look how squishy the bark is.
Not near the spider.
No. I'll show you where he is so you're not near him.
Ooh, he just moved his leg. He knows I'm looking at him.
Nice slippery muddy rock section. We'll film Jill, see whether we get any action. Well, I'm not hoping, but if it happened, might as well get it for posterity. Exactly.
There's always the chance.
There's a little tessellated pavement section here. And check out this footpath that Jill's going to be walking on. It's built perfectly. Along these pools along Knox Gorge are all green and gooey, and I'd suggest that's because it's so rich in phosphorus from our batty friends. Because don't they mine guano for fertilizer? I'm pretty sure they do. Hopefully we get a junction somewhere where we get fresh water coming in. We can go for a swim, because I could take the water on, that's for sure.
Fair. I'll give you $100 to jump in this. I got splashed.
Pond scum.
Yeah.
Fertilized bat water. Those are slippery rocks. And tippy too, yeah, I forgot to mention that.
That rock is spinny.
Spinny, tippy, wet, slippery rocks.
Terry's obviously stepping on rocks further into Knox Gorge. I can hear some action. I can see him up ahead. Beautiful.
We're still in the messy part of the gorge where we've got this green slimy pools. We've got a lot of vegetation and it's quite wide and there's a lot of rocks. But looking ahead, it looks like it starts to narrow and maybe the gorge cleans up a little bit. Let's check it out. There we go. The gorge is starting to narrow quite nicely and it's starting to clean up a little bit.
You can see Terry down there on the right-hand side on the ledge, just enjoying the view. I love this rock.
And that's it. There's a roped area here, and that is as far as you are gonna go. It's probably class 6 from there, and you probably need a guide to go further. There's a roped off section right there, and she's all over. That's the end of the line for Jill.
I've gotten as close as I can to Knox Gorge. Looks really pretty out through the chasm there. What are you doing over there, Ter?
Playing with GoPro settings. Trying to get the best setting for the gorges.
Absolutely stunning view down Knox Gorge. The rock you could stare at for hours and hours. I'm coming back out up here. Terry should come into view shortly. Yep, there he is. Beautiful. There's a gorgeous rock here. And then when I was admiring the rock, I noticed these beautiful little spider webs with little spiders in them. The spider webs look like flowers. And there is spiders in there. So pretty.
Well, the sun's down in the gorge now, so we're gonna cook climbing out, I think, honey.
I think so too. On our way back out of Knox Gorge.
As we get closer and closer to that bat colony, we get more and more green toxic goo. And it's got some sunlight now too, so it can photosynthesize. Go goo go.
Hello.
We got this little pinch point to get around, and then it's a pretty easy walk to the dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's going to be a hot climb.
It's gonna be a hot climb. Just have to kissy the wall.
I'm going to come along here. Hang on.
I did it.
Okay. Next.
Let's see if Jill does a splashdown in the goo. We're at the base of Hill Climb. Time to go up.
Okay. I can hear the bats cheering us on.
Yep. There's a cold drink in the fridge waiting for us as a reward.
It won't even hit the sides.
I don't think so.
No.
We drank all our water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
Up we go.
Are we there yet?
Yeah. 10 steps. Done.
This is the kind of stuff we're climbing up out of Knox Gorge. Oh, my stomach just growled. Okay, I'm coming.
Okay. What's the name of this gorge, Jill?
Calamina.
Calamina Gorge. It's midday, so we're hitting this sucker right at the peak of the sunlight. It's actually the first gorge we've been in during midday. There's a fair few cars up at the parking lot, so I suspect we're going to meet a lot of people.
There's dragonflies all over the place. You gonna fly, guy?
Boy, oh boy, there's no trip hazards on this little section here. It is flat as a pancake.
I was just saying to Terry, this is like the most friendly, family-friendly gorge we've been in so far to bring like little children and stuff. I like the water strider shadows. They're like paw prints. You can barely see the water spreader on top, but on the bottom, it's like a little paw print moving around.
We're starting to get into the gorge proper now. It's full of people. We've been meeting heaps and heaps, as you'd expect this time of day. The water in this particular gorge isn't super clear. It's kind of got that greeny haze to it, but it is flowing. But what characterizes this gorge from the others that I've noticed anyway are these massive slabs of shelving, basically. Dead flat shelving with little stairs placed in conveniently located places. There's Jill walking along the gorge edge, and behind her is a train of a dozen people. It's a weird color of water.
It is, isn't it?
This is a weird little rock. It's got dimples all over it. I wonder what that's been formed by. Yeah, there's heaps of stuff in the trees from past floods.
Hi, dragonfly.
We're at the sign telling us says, "Congratulations, you have reached the end of Calamina Gorge Trail."
It is. That's the first congratulations sign we've encountered.
We are at the end of Calamina Gorge, and there's nothing more to go. So we got to turn around and walk back out the way we came.
That's one thing with gorges. It's usually one way in, one way out.
They usually are. One in, one out.
We like that band of red in the rock. It's a different layer here as well. Dragonflies are everywhere. At Calamina waterfalls. Terry's going in. Well, what's your verdict?
It's colder than the water in yesterday's gorges by a large margin. That's pond down. We're now in the walk, heading down into Dale's Gorge. It's pretty steep and scrabbly so far.
It is.
This is a long sucker. We're only halfway down, and we've been climbing for, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. I'd say this is probably the deepest of the gorges that we've been down so far. Gonna be fun climbing out of this one.
It was down to 5 this morning when we woke up, and it's still really chilly. I'm frozen. Keep going.
That's the top of Dale's Gorge. We've come now down to the bottom. If you turn left, you can go to Circular Pool, but you can't because it has had a rock slide, and apparently there's some asbestos that's been exposed, and the trail's no good, so no go. You have one choice, that's to go down Dale's Gorge to Fortesque Falls. Dale's Gorge is very tree covered so far and very, very wide. We're only at the very, very beginning though.
Every gorge has been different from every other gorge. It's awesome.
This whole area here is just full of blue asbestos. Here's a really good example of what I'm talking about. You can actually see the fibers of the asbestos here in the rock. Very cool.
Little bits of paper bark blowing in the wind. Rock and trees intertwined.
Didn't fall in. Just a bit wibbly. I think that's a lyrebird there. Maybe it's not a lyrebird, but it's a cuckoo looking thing. Made it. It was difficult. Flat. Tricky. Have a house-sized rock fall on top of us.
Yes.
Pretty cool though. That's all natural. That's not man-made.
Very cool.
That was the dry spot. This is the wet spot. That's the way. Nice one.
I have soaked feet now, and I think they're going to get wetter. We're picking our way along a little stream along the edge of the cliff. have to choose which foot to go first.
Climbing up a little set of licorice all sorts stairs, which is kind of neat. We have made it to the end, to Fortesque Falls. Lovely little pool here, and there's lots of people that are coming down from the top of the track, from the lookout, down to here.
I'm trying to do bunny ears.
Oh my god. We're now walking out of Dale's Gorge into the squishy squidgy part.
See, it's more pressure when you're being filmed, Terry.
It is.
Here we go. Where are we going?
Going up to the top. Time to die.
Okay. You tired yet?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be coming.
Good morning, Jafffa Adventures. It is our last day in the Hamersley Range and in Karijini National Park, and we are going to visit Hammersley Gorge. The morning colors on these mountains are just striking. It is beautiful.
We're at Hammersley Gorge now. It's pretty busy. Definitely a destination place. Totally looks different than the other gorges. Again, another view down into Hammersley Gorge with crow dialogue. The folding in the rocks is very pretty.
We're on the walk down to the gorge itself. I am going to take the swim on, and Jill is going to look after our stuff. Look at this crazy folding in the rock. That is awesome. The giant smiley face. That is the spa pool up there, a couple of levels. That's where we're going to be heading. But my goodness, what a beautiful spot. This one is dead easy access too in terms of walking down to it. Jill's going to come across this river, and I will show you one of the most amazing folded rocks you've ever seen. It's bizarre, cool, interesting, and awesome. Have a look at the folding in that rock. That is crazy. Wow. That is unbelievable. Jill's got a giant pocket full of rocks. No, this is National Park. Jill has no rocks in her pocket. Yeah, just going to look at them later in the sunlight, of course. Good call. Here's a real close-up of one of the rock folds. Have a look at that. How cool. Good job. I'm in the lower pool at the moment, heading over towards Spa Pool, which is just a little tiny one, and it's full of people. So let's go check it out. And here is Spa Pool. Check this little guy out. So cool. Well, I made it in the Spa Pool. I don't know whether I'll make it out again.
Did you have fun?
10 out of 10.
Excellent. I think you should let go. I think you should let go. That's a bit what it's like, isn't it?
Slippery.
Yes.
That's the green rock.
It is. We haven't seen green rock to this point. Just here. Here he goes. Here comes kids with pool noodles down from the top. Okay, Joe, I have a special Mother's Day gift for you. Sorry that it's a bit belated. I'm in a drop toilet in Karijini National Park in the Hamersley Range, and I found you a little praying Fran. There he is. Shall we give him a stir? Come here for Joe. Here you go. There you go, Joe, for you.
Now we're going to be heading north towards Whitnoon, but first we're going to go through a little gorge called Rio Tinto Gorge. We don't know anything about this sucker either, other than that's a gorge on a map. It is a dusty old road. There are a lot of people using it. I think we're actually in Rio Tinto Gorge now. I'm not so sure there's any track that goes in or out of the gorge other than the main road. We got a road train traveling the same direction as us. We're eating his dust, trying to stay back as much as we can. Now we got an 8-meter oversized vehicle coming our way. Look at the size of the cab of this truck compared to the load itself. Looks like one of those giant mining dump trucks or water trucks or something. He is not going at a great rate of knots, a poor bugger. Fortesque Mining Group. My goodness, look at the size of that thing. We are on the access track into Bee Gorge, and it was not easy to find. We had to put the drone up to be able to pick it from the highway. It's not on our HEMA maps, it's not on our Oz Explorer maps. The track isn't anyway. The gorge is marked on the map, of course, but no track in. But there is definitely one because we are on it.
No. Left.
Washout. There has been some vehicles on this recently, as in since the rain, but it's not well traveled, that's for sure. I wonder whether they call it Bee Gorge because these hills look like beehives, or because the gorge is full of bees. There used to be a track as well that ran from Bee Gorge all the way to Whitnoon Gorge, but my understanding is that track has long since been washed away. I saw a YouTube video of somebody trying to get across it and they had to turn around. We're now down in the riverbed of the Bee Gorge, and the track is still going, but it's getting much less discernible. I'm gonna drop it down to low range. Right, where's our track go? Is it over there on the left?
I think you go up and over.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Still a long way to actual Bee Gorge on our map.
It is,
If
isn't it?
that's correct.
3.2 kilometers if our map indicator is showing the end of the track. Yeah, it's a long ways in. Wow, look at that. That is spectacular. I'd be pretty surprised if we bumped into anybody on this track. That's cool, the way we run up alongside of this cliff. Crawling along this riverbed, not at a great rate of knots. We're in low range, first gear, just idling basically, but the track still does exist. There are still 2 wheel tracks in front of us, and while that's the case, we'll keep pushing forward until we get CB'd. Photos and said that this is rock collector's paradise here.
But you might die of asbestosis.
Look at this chunk of asbestos. It's sandwiched between 2 hard layers of rock, and it goes completely the way around the rock. That is really neat looking. I like it. Not to breathe it though, just to look at it. Jill said that she could carry the weight of the truck and rocks out today. That would be a bad thing. There's a freaking road sign up here. Can you believe it?
No.
Yep. there is. I don't know what it says, but it's a road sign. Burn planned. Aha, that burn planned sign has been sitting there for a while because it's got river wash washed up around the base of it. I think they must have forgotten they dropped that sign here. According to our placemaker on the map, we are 1.8 kilometers from Bee Gorge, so we are getting closer. What do we got here?
I think you better get out and go have a look.
Still see a couple of faint wheel tracks. Go up here.
Just filming these iron ore pellets that we can see why the mining companies are in the area.
The road is getting really tight and narrow here.
What you doing, Tare?
I'm dropping a pin on our location on the map because this was a very difficult spot to find, and we found it. And I'm stoked. That's what I like doing. Pointing your nose and finding these hidden little tracks where no other bugger is around. Look at the color of the spinifex on those hills.
Mm-hmm. Glows.
It does. It's glowing. That's crazy.